Yeah, his computer was actually still alive this time. No
Yeah.
B-side.
Yeah, don't.
Since
don't-
we were going across the network, we lost connection to Fantasy Grounds.
Yeah,
We
you
can
guys
blame
lost
Impact
connection.
Fraud.
Stream's back up too, by the way, so you can talk to folks.
Let's see. We could talk to ourselves because that's all that's in chat.
Oh,
You scared them all?
Deadlands.
We can make fun of Pendleton Silversong.
It's not Marb.
Says alternate personality.
mm-hmm.
Not to be confused with Fred Vanya.
All right, so we don't know where this Pennington Smythe is at. No one's seen him. The only clue we have is Dillinger thinks that this big-eared guy's got him. That's it.
And we know that we can't just sneak in there because it'll make us exploded and shot.
Certain death.
There.
Certain death. Now Drake lost connection.
Although, I wonder about the island across the way. If we could go over there and see if there's any, if we can see anything on the cliff face, like smuggler tunnels or anything.
What, secret ways into the compound?
Maybe there's a back entrance.
I'm thinking that Timmons
Hey.
is going to sneak in and look around at night, see what
Hey.
happens.
HG can burrow, or can burrow. Can he use burrow and make a tunnel and just put us like right up under the house?
There was never anything stealthy about his burrowing. It's like
Well,
the
that's
ground
because usually
exploding
he
as he
breaks it.
moved, wasn't it?
It can be. I mean, I can try to stealthily do it with my skill of a D4.
He's like a mole, and he's displacing a whole lot more earth than a mole does. Like shrubberies and stuff are falling over as he's moving.
Doesn't he have like a periscope or something that comes up and looks around like?
Yes, but what if there happened to be a small tornado at the same time distracting everyone?
That's
That
what
might
I'm saying.
distract
You
us.
guys can make a distraction, and Timmons can run in and look around and see if he sees anything and come back out.
So while I was gone, how did you guys go from trying to set up a meeting with this guy to sneaking in there and blowing shit up and stuff?
This is our backup plan. That
Yeah.
the next night, if our meeting fails, then our backup plan is just to sneak in and try to look around.
All right.
We're just throwing ideas out there at the moment.
Okay, so what's the telegraph say that what's the telegram say that you're sending by? And how are you doing that? Are you going to ride down the road to the next rail stop about 30 miles away? Send a telegraph into Big Ear's Town from there, or what?
No, we pay the guy to send one to that guy, and then that guy says it's from him and sends it back.
Oh, these are official
What?
telegraph operators. We can't do that, sir. If it's
we
originating
just
from
send it from
Shan Fan, then it
Canada?
needs to come from Shan Fan.
I don't think you understand the importance of this telegraph.
You want me to send a telegraph down to the next rail stop and then have him send it right back here? You know what?
Yes.
He kind of looks around like this.
I slide
It's
him
okay.
a big old fat. Whatever. I
It's
don't know what
okay.
that is supposed to-
It's official business,
Is that
and
a
Jeb will.
persuasion? Slide him a big old fat what?
Wad.
Oh,
Along with that, Miguel will say,
Gold
sure,
Eagle.
He can help out here with, he is an official sheriff, and I am a servant of the Lord. And a friend Timmons here has a very nice suit.
and this
He
is my
says,
bag.
he says, well, I like gold eagles, and you hold up the gold eagle, the $10 gold eagle. He takes it from you, and he says, what exactly am I saying here?
Father Miguel, if you don't mind wording this properly, because lists don't
whatever I
translate well
said-
on a telegraph. There's too many dashes.
I put it into chat before, but now it's gone because I reconnected.
Well, I can fix that. Let's see.
He didn't
Here we go.
disconnect, so he must have it.
Are you on the table, Brad? Yeah. Okay.
It turns out I have to click my character for it to work.
Mr. Tam, we are a private detective agency with good references. Stop. We can help you. As Mr. Tony said, you were the one to talk to. Stop. We are non-Chinese, so we can avoid any claims of bias. Stop. That's all you're sending?
You might want to mention something about
Who you are? Where to get a hold of you at? What?
we'll be by in the morning for
Yeah, put that in. Or maybe afternoon, so to make sure there's time.
midday.
So where do you tell them
Just as
they can find you at?
We don't.
Your front gate.
we'll say we'll arrive after lunch, and hopefully he'll have time to either speak with us or have one of his associates speak with us.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how dead are we
What?
with this plan?
12.
It only goes up to 11. I mean 10.
I've got to say, I've really enjoyed listening to your creativity tonight. So, you send this thing off, and you tell him you're going to be at his gate at what time? On what day?
Saturday, 1 p.m.
All right, we'll go with
Sounds
that.
good. Then we can get some tacos before we go.
It's not
That is on Tuesday.
Kevin.
Somebody needs to invent a taco stand that's called Tuesdays, and we can have them every day.
I like your thinking. Perhaps you could ask if you get the permit to open a taco stand called Tuesdays while we visit.
Huh. With my partner, Pennington Smash.
All right, so you guys send this telegraph off, go back to the Jade, do anything. You want to do anything before 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon when you walk up to his gate?
We've pretty much hit the streets for the most part and found no information regarding Smart, correct?
So we appeared around the time of the fire.
Do what, HG?
Timmons wants to
He
ask
seems to have
Dillinger some more
basically
questions.
just vanished around the time of the fire.
If who vanished?
But Smythe.
Smythe.
That's basically the conclusion from all the information we've got. He basically just vanished around the same time as the fire.
Well, no. Okay, so this is the kind of the timeline of things. They were looking for this particular artifact, and these guys wouldn't give it up. So they burnt the place down, and Smythe and Dillinger left and went to whatever the inn was.
It had a horror house, if I remember.
Yeah, Sunrise House.
The
maybe?
Sunrise
Yep, that's it.
Club or something.
Sunrise House. So they go to the
House of the
Sunrise
Rising
House,
Sun.
and then Dillinger said Smythe left to go hide this artifact, and that's all he knows. He never returned, and it wasn't like him. He's said he'd be back by evening, and he never returned. So this all just happened like the night before last. Okay, so you guys don't want to do anything else. It's 1 p.m. the next day. You're walking up to Big Ears Tam's gate at his compound.
Do they have any tacos?
I'll
3 more days, Timmons. 3 days.
Damn it.
Jeb's going to make sure that his badge.
Timmons like brushes himself off a little. Gets his pocket watch out.
Now remember, Timmons, let Padre strand myself.
Tightens his scarf up on his neck.
Not
My
too
voice
tight
is
now.
not working.
Not too tight. We don't want to choke you. Well, maybe we do, but no, that's another thing entirely.
Okay. So, you arrive back at Tam's estate. You walk up to the gate, and lo and behold, they are expecting you.
Do they look like they're expecting us in they're gonna kill us type of way, or
Guns pointed at us.
No, you go up and you introduce yourselves as the Devil's Posse. And
I think we can do name them.
they slide the little face door shut for a second, or for a little bit longer than that, and pretty soon these great big old oak doors start to swing open. Actually, probably redwood doors. Huge redwood doors.
that would make sense since it's California, right?
And you see walking along a pathway, like coming from, they lead you through to about here, and you get about here and you see somebody moving and coming your direction. And it's a person's rather short of stature, well dressed, silk robe, and he says, "Are you the Devil's Posse?"
Yes, we are. My name is Jeb Hexman. Who am I addressing?
Please come this way. And he turns around and he starts walking back towards this big house.
Well, at least he didn't tell us to walk.
Can we look around as we're going and see if we see anything?
That's
Yeah,
a good
what's
idea.
this? What's this look like over here? Are these like individual compounds inside?
Pretty much.
Are there gates on the front, or
Is that a hill?
Yeah, they're I mean, just smaller. There's like gates that go into each one of them, and inside each of these training yards, as you're walking past, you can see, like a kung fu master out there and a couple of people sparring.
do these resemble like barracks? Maybe.
They're probably like dojo houses.
You very well could be. You see quite a few of these martial artists out there, and then you hear this master, no, he goes off and goes over and knocks the hell out of one of the guys, and then gets in there, and then you just see this old man just whip this kid's ass as you're walking past. And then you walk on up to the big house up here. And they lead you through a doorway here.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
The large green building, what does it appear to be?
That appears to be... You don't
A
know.
bank.
You don't know
Can't
what that
tell.
appears to be.
Is this
Just
a solid compound though? No windows. What is it?
No, it's got windows and stuff. You can see people moving around on the inside. But they don't lead
Does it
you
look,
there.
Yeah.
I mean, is it like a fortified building, or does it look more like a friendly house kind of building?
It might.
Neither.
I'm thinking it might be, where the servant, live, and sleep and such.
How many floors high is it?
Possibly a barrack.
This one?
The big one.
Well, the peak here, it is not as tall as you would think it is by looking at it. It's
So
probably
kind of like a walk.
It's like a great big party hall. If you walk up and kind of walk past it and stick your face in the window right here and look in, it's a great big. It's a Chinese version of a longhouse.
Okay.
Of a meat hall,
Yeah.
The banquet room.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It's a common room. It's a big common room. So they lead you in, and then you come to like this indoor garden area. And when you come in, there's probably about 6, 7, 8 Chinese girls, boys, kind of standing around. They're all looking at you, and it's pretty quiet. They mumble to themselves as they stare at you. Diablo Bob.
Timmons waved at him.
They only serve fish tacos, Timmons. That's what Diablo Bob says. And you stand there for, I don't know, 20 minutes. And the little guy that came out and walked you back here has disappeared. Pretty soon, the doors open up. You guys might start getting a little restless, like, what the hell? The doors open up, and the little Chinese gentleman that greeted you walks out in his ornate bright red robes, silk robes, and you see a gentleman in a three-piece suit walk out, and he's got 3 or 4 guys standing there with him, also wearing three-piece suits. Definitely some kind of security.
Do the suits look familiar?
They do. Looks like the same style.
Timmons puffs his chest up a little. He's kind of in the back, though. Like this is his guards kind of thing.
So the little Chinese kind of butler that brought you back here, he turns to you and he says, "Master Tam welcomes you." And he turns around and looks to Master Tam and he says something in Chinese.
Are we able to hear what it is?
Yeah, I was going to ask if the two people that could speak Chinese understood.
So the two
I'm
people that
guessing-
speak Chinese realize that he's speaking you can catch a few words now and then. It's not Cantonese, it's not Mandarin. But yet some of the words might mean the same. Hey, Steph, Dances with Kobolds raiding in here. Thank you very much.
It's Mandarinese.
Yeah, I mean it would. How do I explain it?
It's
Like
Manton.
they're speaking Italian and I speak Spanish.
Exactly,
It's Cajun?
exactly. You can kind of communicate. Some of the words the Latin, root of some of the words. You
Like
guys
a
could.
French guy going to Louisiana.
Mm-hmm. That's a perfect example. It's like Creole French in Louisiana to somebody from Paris. They just almost don't understand it.
Yeah, it's like Chinese and Japanese couldn't communicate verbally, but they could.
What? I only got every other word. Sometimes
said
Chinese and Japanese and Siamese.
You know, verbally they would have difficulties communicating, but they
Right.
could use, the written language to communicate.
The Japanese and the
At least to a
Chinese.
point.
Well, their languages are quite a bit different. We'd ask Matakuri. Matakuri's wife is Japanese, but I'm pretty sure that the China and don't forget that in China there were, Cantonese and Mandarin were kind of like trade languages, but there were hundreds of different languages spoken.
Oh yeah.
Throughout China.
The origins of Japanese language actually come from Chinese, including the written language. Like I said, there would
Okay,
be
I'm
some
not sure.
miscommunication. Verbally they would not be able to speak, but one of had a Japanese teacher that had a chance to meet with somebody that spoke, written, and wrote in Chinese.
Diablo Bob has got something to say about it over here. Kanji is Kenji, not Kenji, but Kanji. Kanji is based on basic Chinese. Very good.
Yeah, that's why I said
The other thing to consider is the time frame we're looking at. we're in the middle of Japanese modernization, so there's going to be a lot more overlap than there might be today because of traditional.
So, what you fellas are saying is you don't know what the hell they're talking about either, huh? I got you.
Right.
Looks like that fellow over there is the one in charge.
And then
Simmons whispers.
little butler turns back and he looks at you and he says, Mr. Tam, ask how he can help you. What is it you propose? And that he only invites you here because named Devil's Posse. And he turns to Tam and he says something in this dialect of Chinese again, right after he says Devil's Posse, and Tam kind of giggles and laughs and looks at you guys.
I don't see what's so funny.
Well, then he looks at you, Vino, Tam does, and he goes,
Did you misspell something?
let me explain what is so funny.
You?
maybe
Maybe they misspelled the dash and not the dotch, and they put a U in.
No, Tam actually looks at you and he says, in pretty good English, he says, let me explain what is funny about this. In my country, devils are different than they are here in the West. I'm sorry. It is a cultural gap. Now, please, you said you may have something of interest to me. Is this your first time in Shanfan?
For most of us, yes. Our newest member, Padre Miguel here, has been through before.
I was here for a short time, for a little while, a couple of years. I always liked the town. It's nice.
You know, Father, we prefer not to have Western religions in Shanfan. It does
And
not sit well with our culture.
I'm trying to avoid any unnecessary issues of that sort.
So tell me, from what church is it that you come?
Well, right now, I do not work for a particular church. I am just a wandering priest of the Roman Catholic sort.
What about the Right Reverend Hezekiah Grimm? How do you know that man?
I have, not directly, but I have heard of him. I don't quite agree with some of his ideas, but he's down there in his
No,
town.
Bobby.
I'm up here, so there's not
Absolutely,
any problem with that.
absolutely appreciate you.
If you
Chime in
ask
there.
me, Mr. Tam, the Reverend Grimm is a nut.
Haha. Good. Let us sit. Let us have a drink. And with that, he claps you on the back. So evidently he agrees with you. How is it that you think you can benefit me?
Well, we figure most of the settlement here in Shanpan is Chinese, and sometimes you pay an independent out, investigating certain things for you.
That is why we have long had Tony.
No offense to Tony, we've met him, but he seems like he's not up for the task of really getting down to your problem.
Oh, what the hell? Did I close that? I did close that. Hey, give me just a second. Here he is.
Because we've only been here, what, day and a half, 2 days, and we've already heard several rumors about your what were they called, big brothers, plotting some sort of revenge against you.
he sits back and he's got a smile on his face. He turns to the side and snaps his fingers, and his butler walks over and he hands him a cigar, and he lights the cigar for him. And he says, "And what is it that you would know of the Big Brothers?"
Not a whole lot. I think the father maybe not didn't have some run-ins with them before, but is familiar with them. It's not.
I've heard of some, and I've heard that they're a bit more active towards being a bit more, let's say, politically motivated to try to get a promotion of sorts.
You
And of
understand
course,
our way somewhat, I can see.
and if we're going around in town, people might not want to say something to one of your fellow Chinamen because, they would have some sort of allegiance to one area or group of town, but us dumb foreign folk, you know, they might be more willing to give their opinion that they wouldn't towards someone who might have allegiance to one of these big brothers.
You know, that is our way. If you want to climb to the top, you fight for it. As I said before you, that is the way it was. He says, first of all, you guys need to somebody needs to give me a persuasion roll. Actually, Jeb and Father Miguel, because you two are talking.
Yeah, Timmons is just shaking his head and like nodding.
I want to re-roll that.
Okay.
Probably would be beneficial. There it is.
That's better.
Nah,
There's a lot of rolling for a 9, though.
It was only D4s.
Unfortunately, that
Oh,
was Tam's streetwise roll to kind of see if you were bullshitting him or not. And you guys can tell just
There's
by
no
the way.
way he could have an 11 for Streetwise.
could I drop a
He
red
just
chip?
introduced it last week. There's no way. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, I'm like, what do you mean? I just rolled the dice. And that's the funny thing. He's got
Could I
streetwise
have a red chip?
on his sheet. He's got streetwise on there. He's got something called no, and it's battle, and then no Chinese culture. So I think those are knowledge, I guess. But these are things that aren't even found. And I got to looking at this when I was setting everything up this past week, going through some stuff, and I'm like, wait a minute, these things aren't even. Anyway, let's take a quick 5-minute break, bio, and before we get into this. But basically, Big Ears Tam looks at you guys and says, let's cut
hold
through
on.
the bullshit. Why are you here?
Brad wanted to try to use a red chip.
Uh,
Or is it too late?
Too late. We're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll be right back. You guys stick around. Matter of fact, I'm going to leave voice chat on, so.
So we can talk to
There.
Bob?
Yeah, you can talk to Bobby. So I'm just going to take a quick bio. I'll be right back.
Your kids have been driving you crazy. Welcome to the 3.6 or 30, what is it? 360 million people in the U.S. stuck with their kids in one form or the other. History and funny accents. Did you actually accomplish anything on your stream today? Like get like some coding done? I didn't even see any kids today. So, oh wait, yeah, there's this one kid around the corner here. I saw him on his dribbling his basketball. Thought process. Glad you had some thought processes between going insane. I worked on my stream overlay most of the day. Got some cool effects on it, and it's going to look pretty cool. Do you have any luck on trying to see if an encounter or drop in the party sheet? When you put it into the combat tracker? That would be so convenient. Lazy DM button. Or, not lazy. I don't consider myself lazy. I consider myself forgetful. I think I forget to do it. What's that, Brad?
What's that, Brad?
Said you're not lazy, you're just efficient. Skip all that unnecessary extra stuff.
That's why I like milestones, because then I'm like, whatever. It's you get leveled when the book says you level. Screw it, you know. But players don't like milestone because they want to go hunt and get experience points and try to get levels, and it's just I'm like,
You get a level when you finish the next plot point.
that would require knowing when plot points started and ended, though. For most of some of my players, they're like, we kick the door in, we kill the mob, get XP, take their loot, go to the next door, kick the door in, kill the mobs, take the loot, get XP.
They'd still be asking for levels every time. It wouldn't change.
Right? But if you every time you push the down arrow on an encounter and it puts it in the combat tracker, why couldn't it just put it in the experience points spot?
That makes sense.
I mean, that seems like it should be part of the program. Diablo Bob needs to get a job working for Smiteworks. That's what he needs to do. We'll call him Mr. Coder.
Mr. Coder.
Extension.
Code me a code while you're sitting upon the commode.
I had a thought, guys.
Uh-oh.
You know, out
Did
of
it hurt?
character. No, not this time.
I'm kidding. What? What's up?
I had a question out of character.
I was gonna say, what if we tell him we were basically testing him, and that we know that he's looking for an amulet, and that's why we're here.
Now,
That
wait
way
a minute.
we can also get more
Stop. You can't
He's
have this
got the guy,
conversation.
exactly,
You've
yeah,
already. You're sitting here in front of him right now. You're not. You can't have this conversation. You've already talked about what you want to do when you come in here.
Well, you can't have it with Marbanya sitting here anyways. Where the hell were you 5 minutes ago when he was peeing? Did you have your headset on?
Yeah. I always had the
Damn.
headset on.
Real quick question.
But you know what?
How old is,
I don't turn on the whispers. I don't give a shit what the players talk about behind my back, you know. So if you guys want to whisper stuff, I think it's good that the DM doesn't know everything that goes on. So keep that in mind if you guys ever want to like whisper to each other. I don't see that shit.
We have Discord private messages. Thank you. We don't have
Oh.
to do all that whisper shit.
It is easier than spelling everyone's name.
So anyway, Tam's sitting here and he goes, "Let's cut to this chase." What?
Just real quick though. So for the Pennington Smythe guy, approximately how old did they say he was? That was something that was unclear to me.
Smythe?
Yeah.
He looked like he was 75 and a half.
It's like middle age or old.
Yeah, he's you know probably 50 to 55 years old, somewhere in there.
But weathered.
Okay, so Plan B,
He's
Brad.
just a pup to H.G. Willikers.
I should double check how old Miguel is.
So, where do you go from here when he says, "What is it that you wish from me?"
Well, part of that was true. I will admit. I would like if I could. I hear that there is some violence in town between some of these groups, and I would like to see if I could help with that. But there is another situation that we came to you about with my friend Jeb over here.
And what is
Yeah.
that? You are a detective agency, am I to be correct in that? I
Yes.
believe, yes, I thought so. I believe, yes.
Well,
Show him a pocket watch.
yeah.
Timmons also kind of shows him his suit a little, like kind
Yeah,
of
shows
brushes it.
Flashes the lining and stuff.
But you're not,
Yeah.
you're not talking. You got a scarf tied around
No,
your.
no.
You got a
He's got
scarf
his
tied
scarf
around.
tight. Every now and then he'll like clear his throat like he's got something wrong with his throat.
With
And
your
then he'll touch
friend,
his
like a
throat.
drink. Please get these gentlemen a drink. And they come over, and he's got like mint juleps.
He says, poison,
What?
poisoned.
Where did this
And
happen?
touches his throat.
Here in Shanfan.
Blowfish.
Oh, did you try to clean it yourself? Oh. Now, first of all, yeah, we're gonna go with that, but I don't know if Timmons coming from fucking Colorado would know what a blowfish was. But you know what?
Well,
You were just right there with it, so I'm also gonna give
He
you
was
a.
talking to the guy in the tuxedo suit about blowfish. I mean, 3 hours talking to the guy. They talked about something. They talked about his delicacy of blowfish and how poisonous it is somebody messes it up.
Oh, well,
So,
you got a red chip.
there
for
you
that.
go.
All right. And
Blowfish.
I meant to do this earlier, Father Miguel. I'm going to give you a draw on the chip bag there because of your rolling with this guy, rolling with the punches. So you just because he was like this. He's like, well, we could do this, we could do that, kind of like what we could do for you. All of a sudden, he says, okay, cut to this shit. What are you here for? Well, there's another matter, and he just rolled right into it. So continue with what you were saying, Father Miguel.
But there is a situation from my good friend Jeb here. He's in a bit of a pickle, I believe is what they say up north. Jeb, do tell the man about the situation.
Well, my
Well,
sister,
here's the ball.
my sister, she was betrothed to get wed, and then she was kidnapped by Indians of all things. Can you believe that?
I don't know if I can or not, but keep talking.
Bonnie.
Anyway, we managed to track them out towards Shane, and before we lost their trail.
And that brings
We
you
were
here.
also-
You're looking for Indians here in my
Well-
compound.
Timmons looks around, shakes his head.
That is just how we ended up here in town.
You
And you all,
boys,
of course, smart one.
what is
If it
with
is
you?
true that you've seen everything that happens in town, as I've heard, I thought perhaps you might have some information because they were supposed to be headed in this direction.
The Indians. The Indians were supposed. And he says, well, what do you mean by Indians? The Indians are supposed to be heading this direction?
Well, we tracked them out this way. On the way here, we heard rumors that they planned on selling them.
So you came to see if I have seen Indians in Shanfan.
Or
There
it
are
could
many
be that
that
they
come
are.
and go.
There is one with a very improper name of Little Beaver. He is one of these suspicious.
Yeah, and the other Indian with him is a woman named Paloma. They plan on selling my poor sister into slavery, and Jeb just fake cries and I don't have performance, do I?
Well, yeah, then you're gonna have to get me unskilled on that, brother.
Timmons reaches in his nice flying suit and pulls out a nice flying handkerchief and gives it over to Jeb. It's okay.
Tam just sits here with his hand kind of on the corners of his mouth, a slight smile, and it's almost like he's trying to hide it as he looks at you crying.
HG.
So HG sits up and he goes, "Little Beaver's been here." Did you even bring HG with you in here? You did. Yeah, I know you did.
Yeah.
Okay, so
He's just standing there swaying, right? He's just been like,
He's over there smoking in the corner right there.
Talking
that's
to
an extra
himself.
chip for HG. All right, so you just all of a sudden, you've been sitting over here staggering in the seat, and all of a sudden you sit up and you go, "Little Beaver's been here." That asshole still owes me a drink. With that, Tam just starts laughing. I mean, he laughs. He just laughs like nothing. He says, "You are very entertaining. I will give you that."
I mean, brother.
Uh, you can give me a either streetwise or common knowledge because you lived here in Shanfan for a while. So. Yeah, you know some names. Some of the more flamboyant, boisterous, loud, shit disturbing. Give
Who's the
me
shit
give me
disturbing?
a percentile die roll to see. Just give me a percentile die roll. Oh, you can't do that on this table, can you? Because the
You,
audio
well, you
plug-in.
can. It just does it weird.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it.
$41.
All right, you know the name of one. You kind of recall the name of this guy that he was pretty powerful. And I'm looking here, guys. In just a minute. Where's it at? Sengpo Tam. That's by the way, Big Ears Tam. His name is Sengpo Tam. They call him Big Ears. Where is it here?
Now I have to ask: does he have big ears?
Now roll me a d6. Brad.
Oh.
No, he doesn't have big ears. 2. Okay. I just lost it in all this text. Okay.
Okay, then. All right, so Miguel's gonna lean forward a bit and go, "All right, Mr. Tam, I will level with you. There is a bit more to this, but I didn't want to say for fear of causing some trouble. Since I know that you don't look so kindly upon the Western religions as well as outsiders, but we had some trouble with this little beaver fellow. And he mentioned that he was working with this fellow named Sin Noodles out here in town. So we was wondering if you might be able to help us with this situation, since you are, from what I understand, the biggest and best in town."
Okay. Do you have persuasion?
I do.
Not
And I am
with
going
that
to
kind
do
of.
the chip.
Okay, you want to re-roll it, or you want to use a red or blue chip? Okay, gonna re-roll. He's just.
Can I?
Can you?
Never mind. I was going to say, can I play a red ship for him? Then I realized that.
Okay, so you used to. You know what?
Um,
That one
I play
succeeds.
a red chip after I have already played a white chip.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. I don't see there's anything that keeps you from playing 2 chips in a row to improve it. 9.
So 9.
And you used a red chip? Yes, a red chip, so I will draw a random fate chip. Okay. So he doesn't write you off as being full of shit.
So at least he thinks that I think
Oh,
this.
shit. You've got him hook, line, and sinker.
Did he not, or did he crit fell on it? Holy shit, he did.
He did. Yeah.
Yeah, so he sits up, he says, do you
You
know...
see, I didn't want to accuse this thin noodles fellow right off the bat without talking to the individual in charge first, because I am quite worried about my good friend here's sister.
Well,
Her husband is, her husband to be is beside himself.
you know, you may be after the little beaver, but your whole sister and your crying shit must stop. Why you are after the little beaver, I cannot. Sister run
Are you
off.
trying to say my friend here was lying to me? Jeb, why I never. I
I'm
will
sorry,
have to have a
Piper.
word with him. It is okay. I will have to have a word with him.
Please
Sorry
continue
there,
while you have
Mr.
my
Dan.
attention. Please continue. So you look for the little beaver. He have something to do with Thin Noodles Ma.
Yeah, we have run afoul of this fellow, and we were after him. But as part of our investigative agency. But he's supposedly working with this here thin noodles fellow on some sort of. We're not really sure, other than it's supposed to be something that is, I believe, back home we would say there's no bueno.
Oh, I know this. I know this saying. I know this saying. No bueno.
But
Um,
of course, we don't want to accuse this fellow right off the bat.
he says, you know, that Thin Noodles is one of my best men. He is also ambitious. Sometimes, maybe too ambitious. And I like to see just how they can perform and protect himself. I will tell you where Thin Noodles might be found. But what good is it going to do you?
But if you could make sure that there is no repercussions from above in our investigation. We would hate to infringe on your law jurisdiction after all. My friend here is a lawman after all, and he is not against that sort of thing. We gotta, making the permission.
He says right now, Thin Noodles is at war with Rat Skinner Ho. They are starting to cause trouble. You are detective agency. You are looking for the little beaver.
Yeah, we all want to get ourselves some beaver.
So I'm uncertain what it is you're wanting to know from Tam here. He says, I have not seen the little beaver. You can't go ask Thin Noodles yourself.
Well, we don't want to, if you're starting poking around your outsiders, you want to make sure the guy in charge is okay with you messing with people. Such.
I like to keep my men on their toes. Feel free
Well,
to see what you can find. But if you are another statistic of a San
A what?
fan, a statistic, you know you become a number, a statistic.
Statistic.
Timmons has a hard time with that word too.
Hell, sometimes
Statistic.
I have an issue with the word.
Statistic.
But you have still not told me reason you are really here. You are seeking the little beaver, but not because some sister get married.
Permission, Timmons says with a scratchy voice.
He
And
working with Tam or with Tin Noodles. Then he's probably working for me.
I heard that he was working for that Reverend, actually. I mean, rumor on the street, and it's a rumor, mind you, is that he was trying to make a push for town up here.
Okay, because of his critical failure and your successful use of chips and stuff earlier, he's really zoning in on. He's listening to you. He believes you, Father Miguel, because maybe it's the whole Western religious thing. He doesn't know. But yeah, continue on here. But he looks at you when you say this religious thing, and go.
So, yeah, this Reverend, he is always trying to expand his influence. He's not quite the same religion as me. You know how some things go like that. And he and this little beaver fellow are working together. Um, Supposedly with this fellow named Thin Noodles because they want to move into the city of Champagne. As I was saying, I lived here a couple of years ago, and I always found the place quite nice.
Little beaver and not Chinese.
Well, neither was the Reverend. That is why they had to have a Chinese contest.
Aye.
Because if this Noodles fellow were to take over as the big leader, he supposedly would allow the Reverend into the town through his middleman, who we happen to be hunting for an unrelated purpose, as detectives.
And Timmons takes the drink that was offered to him and chokes it down and clears his throat, and he says, and we're here for respect for you.
Give me your persuasion roll, Tim.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
No.
I want to use a red chip. And add that to it.
15. God damn.
Damn.
So
Plus,
he looks at
you
you and
have
he
a
looks at the
very nice
scarf around
suit.
your neck. He says, you can go fuck around with Thin Noodles Ma if you want to. In fact, if you were to ever discover that Thin Noodles move against me, I would pay handsomely for knowing this information. Now, gentlemen,
We are within agreement then. Our standard rates are going to apply. And Timmons turns and starts to walk out.
Timmons, you just turn around and say that to him. He
says,
knows. He
"Our
knows
standard
you're
rates apply." He turns and starts to walk out.
You detectives are all the same. You're not even a priest. I'm sure of it. But
No, he's
Reverend
really a
Vin,
priest, just like I'm really a sheriff.
oh, you're sheriff of what? Big town, big man. Sheriff, come here to my place. Try to bullshit me. You just be another statistic on the streets of
Yeah, well,
San Fan. But feel free, go look up Tam yourself. He fucking around. He going to get hurt.
So, any kind of look that looks like something's more secure than anything else while we're this far into the complex?
Well, you're just kind of sitting out here in this guard.
Right. Is this like Fort Knox, or just all of it looks like regular house kind of stuff everywhere?
Just looks like regular house. I mean, you see several of these, for lack of a better term, they're barracks. He literally keeps a small army here, but there doesn't really seem to be a prison of any kind here. It's just a very nice Chinese compound. Water gardens and.
Anybody look out of place or odd, or
Well, everybody who's staring at you, the 12 or 15 or 25 people who are looking at you from here and there, kind of their own little conversations wherever they're at, but you can feel their eyes on you. Everybody's got their eyes on you guys.
the
What are you grinning at, HG? You got something cooking in his brain.
yeah, we're kind of making our way out as we're kind of scoping the place out, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we got a little bit of information and we got to look around, but
nothing
we
of
did not one
real
step
relevance.
closer to what we knew before we came in. Other than now, this little fella knows who we are.
But you could have just flat out asked him and said, "Do you know anything about Captain Smythe,
Hey,
the captain?"
the ruse was as Timmons couldn't say anything, so that's what he
Or
was
else he would have spilled the beans, huh?
Oh, absolutely. He has a flaw.
Well, if you saw the PM that I sent you.
Who?
Yeah, that was a little late in the. Because if
Timmy.
Timmons' flaw would have came out, it would have came out in the beginning, like the first thing he said.
Yeah, I like the whole put a scarf around your neck here thing. Yeah, it's great. That's great.
Poison.
So no, I guess you guys are not really any closer, but I mean, from what you can see, there's a big. This is a big compound. I mean, they could be holding somebody someplace, but you don't see anything that looks like a jail or a prison or anything.
At least not something that was built with the intent.
Do we
to hold
see?
someone.
Do we see stables? Is this stables over here?
Yeah, there's some stables in here, some nice horses. One of those is probably going to be stables.
Do we spot a horse that has Pennington Smythe branding on it?
No, unfortunately you don't.
Still think Jeb should go with my plan there.
What about Timmons?
Let's do this. It's now 3 p.m. You're back in Shanfan. You guys got the afternoon. You can hit the streets again. You can do some more investigating if you wish. I need streetwise rolls from the Chinese speakers. They're the only people who are going to get any. And I found that interesting is that if you don't speak Chinese, you don't even get a chance to roll to say, "Oh shit, Father Miguel."
I'm seriously curious how a group of players would be able to get through Shanfan without somebody being able to speak Chinese.
It'd be very difficult, and that's what I thought.
$1.
was fun. Yeah, about
$1.
But you know what? You can look at any adventure modules from WotC or anybody else, and there's always those pieces that you're like, okay, do I play this out the way it's written? Because if I do, it's going to be very difficult. But in this party, there happen to be two people that spoke Chinese, so
Right.
Could be that you could hire a translator or something, perhaps.
sissy. Yeah, Diablo Bob.
Statistic.
You be another sissy in Shanfan, another number on the wall. Okay. So with that 9, you finally rolled high enough on your investigations that, in fact, the name Thin Noodles Ma comes up time and time again. And you also hear the name Rat Skinner Ho. And these two big brothers are constantly at each other's throats. I mean, they're rascals are fighting each other on the streets and on the corners and stuff. But the two of them will often be seen drinking and playing cards together frequently in public. Like, no big deal.
Two related questions.
Okay.
Do we know if they each have like a particular area that they call their own, or do they work the whole place?
Very good.
Turf.
Yep. So you dig into where's their turf, and you find out that Thin Noodles Ma's turf is the skids. And he actually has a safe house in the skids.
And what about the other
Give me
one?
a 6-sided. Give me a D6. This is just common. Okay, 4. By 7 p.m., you guys combing the streets and kind of doing your little undercover detective work. By 7 p.m., Father Miguel comes back with some more information. You guys meet back up at the Jade where you're staying, and he tells you that Thin Noodles Ma's turf is in the skids, and that he and Rat Skinner Ho have been at each other, but yet they seem to be very friendly. But it's a really weird gang war that's going on right now. But you do learn of this safe house.
And
Also,
is
does that
there
find out where they play cards?
Do
Well, I said they've been known to play cards with each other in public. I'm wondering if
in
it's a particular location.
Oh, and
Like at a
having dinner
particular-
together. They'll have dinner together, play cards together, they'll drink together. They're like friends, but yet they're just
I mean,
strange.
is it like a particular establishment that they tend to go to play cards? For instance, one that we could send HG to.
Oh, it would be in. Let me pull the map up here. It would be in Teal Town, or one of these. These are very rich out here on the edge of town, all around the edge of town. They're either warehouses and stuff like that, or there will be compounds much like Tam's, probably smaller, but more wealthy places. But if you're going to find them in public, it may be Teal Town. Teal in the Chinese Cantonese language is money, basically money. But the skids is like this section of town down here. So I will read about the skids to you guys. I'm going to read a couple of things here. So first of all, the War of the Triads. Shanfan Triad has always been like any other large family, fighting like the Dickens. That's worked out pretty well for them so far. But when Ghost Town got lit up like a torch, some agreements and obligations that remained unchanged for years are suddenly in doubt. And so you've learned that some things have been upset. Okay. Where is the spot on the neighborhoods? Here we go. The skids. For every person who strikes it rich in the maze, there are dozens who get washed out like water from a sluice mine. Sooner or later, they all end up in the skids. The people here are destitute. The only folks making money in this neighborhood are the landlords and triad tax collectors. And life is short and cheap. The saloons make Red Lantern Town look downright opulent. It isn't safe to come here alone at night. They tell you the place is crawling with stoned killers who drop you for a nickel in your pocket. And that's just the kids. And the skids are growing, and they cover a large part of the southeast side of town. So that's what you learn about the skids, and that's what you learn about Thin Noodles' Ma. And you find a address for a location of a safe house of his.
Well, what do you all think?
I don't speak orange.
Timmons, you could just call it China.
Somebody yelled at me.
For what?
For saying Chinese.
For saying Chinese, they yelled at you.
Yeah, it's Mandarin or Houthi Mandarin. Apparently, there's 100 of them.
So what would you guys like to
Is
do
there
for
another faction other than Chinese in town?
No, not in Shanfan. That's it.
Very, very, very few white men.
99% of the white folks you'll find are in Red Lantern Town. And 100% of the white folks in Shanfan live in Red Lantern Town. You may find them doing business other places in town, but just that western section of town or eastern section of town that's it.
And what do we know of this artifact?
It's evil.
It's evil, and Dillinger said that it can raise the dead, but only if they have the blackest of hearts.
Can I roll an occult to see what I might know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I figured you'd fucking pull that
explode.
shit. Now I gotta go look at shit up.
The family made the amulet.
Let's see.
It's a Hexman amulet.
Come on. See, this is like a whole chapter on one single story entry, so I'm constantly scrolling up and down.
Yeah, I don't like when they do that.
I'm sorry, say that one. I wasn't paying attention.
This entire plot point, every plot point in here has its own story entry, but it's all on one single story entry. So it's literally a chapter in a book put on one story entry. So I got to scroll up and down to find this stuff.
That's horrible.
Tell us about this artifact. Okay, so here's what you learned from Dillinger. It's a vile thing from the deserts of Arabia called the Amulet of Rahashamir. Legends claim that it can bring back the dead with incredible power, but only if the deceased had the blackest of hearts. I realize you may not believe in such things, but I assure you, blah, 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 blah.
That's the same thing Dillinger said.
It is what Dillinger said.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how much you know about the Far East, but they've had terrible wars there. Blah, blah, blah. So he's basically thinking that they are trying to raise some ancient Chinese warlord to rise up once again. And, he doesn't know why the Chinese want this amulet. Or exactly who.
So other than what he's told me of the amulet, I've
Yeah. So, from other than what he's told you of the amulet, that's about. Because as far as I know, Vino, that's the only information in the module about it. But you know what? I'll let you know next week. I'll dig into it further and see if it's mentioned
Okay.
anyplace else. Matter of fact, I might be able to do that real quick. Give me just uno momento, por favor. Deadlands. Documents. Deadlands. The flood. Rahashamir, huh? Yep, that's all you know about it. I just searched the entire PDF document, so there.
okay.
You know that. I mean, I don't know what else you need to know about it. It raises evil undead. So that's about all I can tell you, Vino or Jeb.
Well, it seems that anyone would know about it, right? I mean, it's that soaked into the Chinese,
No.
beliefs
It's
that.
not a Chinese relic.
No,
From
it's
the
Middle
Middle
East.
East.
Just-
Probably wouldn't.
yeah, they're just worried about what kind of evil people it could bring up from this war or whatever.
Right.
That's all that's about. It's something from Arabia.
So where did it come from?
Somewhere from Arabia.
Right,
The
but
desert.
why did Pennington Smythe have a hold of it?
They retrieved it. If you would have asked the captain some other information.
Well, that's another thing that Timmons wants to do is talk to Dillinger again.
Tell us about the captain. What happened to your leg? Several years ago, I was chased by Arabs intent on resurrecting a long-dead caliphate. My associates and I, because remember he had a really bad limp and walked with a cane, and
Mhm.
basically said he can't get out and adventure anymore. My associates and I managed to escape, but not before we ran afoul of a young Mojave rattler, which is what happened to his leg. But I mean, these guys actually retrieved it. They found it while on. The British in the 19th century were all over the continents of Africa and Asia and India, that
Everywhere.
colonizing everywhere.
So they found it and brought it to Shanfan, and now Tony 2 Years wants it.
Tony too.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you don't even
Big
know
Ear
that.
Tam.
Yeah, that's what Dillinger said. He said that he's
Right.
sure that Big Ears Tam took him. Or that's what he thinks anyway.
So we go back to Dillinger, and Timmons is like, we went and talked to Mr. Tam. He didn't seem to know where your friend's at.
I don't think you guys ever asked him that, but you can tell
Nope.
Dillinger this.
They did not.
Yeah.
You
We
guys
lied to
didn't
every-
ask him. You had his attention. You had an audience with the man, and you didn't even ask him. You didn't ask for the sale, man.
Yeah,
Well, if he was the reason he's missing, you wouldn't want to
Yeah.
go out and have it. They'll shoot him.
it's like, yeah, you're not by any chance, holding prisoner, this guy named Smythe.
Well, who knows? That could have been a good thing, might have been a bad thing, who knows?
Well, generally those that have somebody held captive don't like people going around asking about those people they have captive.
And that was a lot of kung fu guys outside.
Exactly.
So,
About 150.
so we can send him a note saying that we started investigating and realized that rumor has it that an amulet is being sought, and we pursue looking for it.
Well, HG actually had a good idea.
Huh?
Did he? Hey, was he
Him and I,
lucid
both
moment?
of us were kind of talking. We were talking in FG chat.
Oh.
He was talking about framing one of the brothers for having taken Smythe and the amulet,
Oh.
or at least the amulet or something.
Aha.
Well, yeah, that could be part of the story that we know about the amulet because one of the blah 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 the big brothers is
Oh, we don't even have to tell him we know about the amulet, is what I was saying. We already figured out where the one guy's working. We go down there and just take out, like, one of his little lieutenants real quick and fast. And then just, drop the body and the message before we jump to this guy saying, well, we were looking into it and we found this. And have the guy have a message that really just says that they've located this amulet and they're going to use its power and
To take you down or something or
gang
another.
up to be able to force him out of the top position.
So you're going to send a message to Tan that you discovered that one of these brothers, either Thin Noodles Ma or Rat Skinner Ho or one of them.
Yeah, grab up one of their lieutenants
Okay.
and make it look like he had a message he was trying to deliver to the other group, saying that they
Said the two of them
found
were
the
going
amulet that they were looking for, or they've located the amulet that they were looking for, with its power that they should be able to dethrone him.
Okay, so this is completely made up. You're going to send
Yes.
this
Oh,
message.
yes.
Okay.
But his reaction to it's all that really matters, because when he sees that he's either got the amulet and doesn't care,
Who,
or
Tam?
knows about the amulet and is worried. Yes.
Okay. So you send this message to him, I assume. Am I hearing this right?
Yeah, no, we want to
Okay.
literally attack some guy that would logically be a messenger, kill him,
Like
and bring
Commando.
him and the message that we got off him.
Okay.
Yeah, kill the
When we
dude and
kill
plant the
him.
message on him.
Yeah, and then drop them both off at this guy's.
So you want to
at
go?
Tom
You want to go
Hanks'
down
estate.
to the skids near this safe house and take one of these rascals off the street, kill him, and stick a note in his pocket.
Yeah, someone that seems to be working in such a capacity already. And just kind of trail them for a little while.
Okay.
Find someone's coming and going. Okay. That way, if he looks into it, it is one of their messengers.
Okay.
If he burns down the skids or what?
I mean, I can just snap his neck real quick.
yeah, we could check out that safe house, see what's going on around there. That's probably a good spot.
And just a question: what if he asks us why we killed him?
The guy
We
that
told
dies.
him we were looking into this. We literally just agreed to do this as a job, kind of, sort of.
They do say they attack everyone who comes around there at night.
Well, I mean, when we were at Tim's estate,
Could have been in
we
self-defense.
said that somebody might be working against him, and he would appreciate further information if we brought it right to him. And
Yeah, if
I mean, I'm just kind of basing this off the lies we've already told.
if we go and investigate, we go. Technically, we tell them we're investigating, and we get attacked by these horrible rapscallions because we're foreign dudes, and then accidentally they get killed because we're tough foreign dudes.
Yeah, and then we find this note on one of them, and
Yeah, we got into it with them. One of them didn't try, and it's the Old West. We got into it with them. A bunch of people are pulling
I
knives.
think
Somebody's gonna get stabbed or shot.
Timmons probably perks up and says, the only problem I have with this
Jingo.
is the poor sap that's going to get killed.
Thank you for the raid,
Oh, he's a
Jingo.
gangster.
We're getting
And
ready
that
to
is
wrap it
why
up
we
here,
wait
but you're welcome
to do
to.
it in
Not like
self-defense.
he's.
These guys have been trying
not
to
like
figure
he's
out
a
shit
little-
all night, man.
I mean, we're not
So,
going after somebody.
finally
who's
starting
just
to
living their
down,
normal life,
we
doing just
puff our chest up, and hopefully somebody gets killed.
No, we watch him for a little while and jump on him. He walks away. Drag
Jingo.
him
No.
down the alleyway.
Thank you for the sub, Jingo, brother. Thank you very much.
I know what
Scared
we
the hell
do.
out of me.
I know what we do.
12 months. Nice.
I will walk out into the street
Very
and
nice. Thank you, brother.
accidentally on purpose drop a whole bunch of money, and while I'm when I pick it up, somebody's likely to follow me, gang member or whatever, to try to steal it from me. And
You've
that's
got
when
to
you'll
have
jump
that.
in and save me, and in the process accidentally killing them.
Well, we already know where the safe house is. There's no telephones or anything.
You
He's
sneaky
gotta
motherfuckers.
Just go up to the house and see what happens.
Using messengers to send his orders out. I mean, we just kind of post up nearby and watch for a guy who's coming and going. And then we just
Or-
follow him when he leaves one time. He never makes it back.
What if we hang out near the safe house and Jeb starts flashing a sheriff badge around and asking questions?
Then there's going to be people to identify one of us after this guy disappears.
Yeah.
This is like
So
a dun,
we-
dun, dun,
all we
dun,
need
dun,
to do is
murder,
scan this
dun,
guy. It doesn't
dun,
really
dun,
matter
dun.
what he really knows or anything.
But that's true. And Timmons has a fancy new suit, so he looks like
Hello,
he might
Martian Cat,
have
Mrs.
come into some
Jingo.
money
Good
recently.
evening.
So
That's
if he
it.
were to drop some money,
These aren't good guys. It's a proven gangster at this point.
Pain, thank you for the
Whoever it
follow.
is already
Hey, Pain.
killed for the gang and proven his
Hey,
loyalty.
Pain.
And
I like it.
Padre, in the Old Testament, didn't on occasion God smite the wicked? How is this
Steve,
any
who did?
different?
I do believe that these fellows are involved in all manner of sin, and maybe they will. If we go and talk to them, perhaps they will confess. But if not, we might have to get Old
Well-
Testament on them, like you said.
Well, the
That's
thing
how
about
we
going
do
to
it.
talk with them is they can identify us, and we don't need to kill 5-6 people. We just need one.
Well, exactly. So we talked to the one. We have perhaps Mr. Timmons here, flashing some money around in his fancy new suit, and one follows him into an alleyway. We have a word with him, and we say, "You want to confess your sins?" And he'll say, "I don't like your weird white man religion." And then HG does his thing.
Weird white man religion. That's worth a fate chip right there. Weird white man religion. I like that. Fucking A, man. If I could find you on the combat tracker, here you are. I'm sorry, I lost it on that.
Well, and that way, we will be acting not in a bad way, because we are helping to save this poor man's soul.
So are you guys discussing this as you're walking down there to the safe house?
No, we're still at
Pretty
the Jade.
You're at the Jade. Okay. You're sitting
Oh.
around the saloon at the Jade. All right.
Timmons is like making sure his weapons are loaded and putting bullets in his shit.
Maybe I should just go get this guy. Make him quiet like.
That's a good idea.
That's what I'm saying. You want to take Timmons down there and negotiate with somebody?
No, we don't want to talk to anybody. We don't want anyone to know we were even there.
Exactly.
Well,
Yeah,
Pluck
he's
out one
actually
little guy.
advocating
Timmons
talking to
does
them.
have a
Bring
club.
them
He does have a
He's
club.
advocating talking to them so that it is less sinful to stab them in the face.
Oh, he looks at
DMC
H.G.
Crimson.
Willigers and he
Welcome.
says, "We're gonna go talk to him. I'll go with you and watch your back. You stay here." Good plan, Father Pedro.
Yeah, so
Fryer.
Father
Jeb
Pedro.
and Pod.
Yeah, bring one of the carts so we can load the body in it. We'll set you up like a block away. I can just jump him real quick, beat him up, and then drag him underground and tunnel under a couple buildings real quick and pop out and stick him in the cart.
A taco cot. I got one. He's one over here. He gets one behind a
Okay,
little
so
rickshaw or something.
now that you
A
guys
rickshaw.
have formulated your plan, tell me what your plan is from point A to point Z. What all is going on here? Because there's a whole lot of moving parts that I just heard.
All right,
So-
me and Timmons are gonna go down and scout out this place, the headquarters or whatever. We want to find a place where we can park the cart, like a couple blocks away, and then we're just
And
gonna
we got to
scout
find the
out
cart. Still a cart. A
I
rickshaw.
thought you had carts. We
Yeah,
don't-
I have
big
a
old fucking wagon.
huge wagon with
huge.
4 mules.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
a 2-stage
Mhm.
wagon.
Borrow a rickshaw.
You guys would be able to
Travel well.
hire a
and-
cart. No problem. You can hire a cart somewhere, but it might cost you extra to be able to take the cart or just buy one. Fuck. I mean, Timmons is filthy
Let's
rich
just
anyway.
take one. There's one. Timmons just
Just
takes
takes
one.
it.
Anyway, we park that off like on the opposite side of the block.
Okay.
And then I'm going to hang out and look for a guy who's coming and going. Just who looks like he must be delivering information or
All right,
something.
time out a second. Let's do it this way, HG, because I think that you're going to go down and you guys are going to scout this place out, safe house. All right. And with that, I'm going to push a map.
Only HG and Timmons are there though.
That's fine. Okay.
Just letting you know.
Right.
We are getting an alibi.
And I'll give you this. I'll give you give me just yeah, you see him?
That Bruce Lee.
It is. It's Bruce
It
Lee.
is
He's all
Bruce
scratched
Lee.
up.
You guys are screwed.
Well, I was saying not gonna pick.
No, we're
Bruce
not.
Lee.
How did Bruce Lee die? 1 bullet. That was it.
No, that's his son.
Oh.
Bruce Lee.
Oh, how did Bruce
had a
Lee
heart
die?
attack, didn't he?
Yes.
Hmm.
All right, HE, you might have to leap out from underground and go.
So some of it they think might be blamed on the fact that he used to attach electrodes to his stomach.
Oh, really?
You do that repeatedly as a form of muscle training.
Wow. All right, so you go down and you scout this safe house out, and you do see a guy standing out here, and you say who's here and who's not. Timmons and HG are the only two here, right?
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
kind of moved Jeb and
Yeah,
Miguel
so that
kind of
would
into a
be-
building.
way back down the street.
Right.
We're more looking for
Unfortunately,
traffic
this is
coming
the
and
size of
going.
the map that I created
Yeah,
for
no, I
this
gotcha.
thing. So,
It's a nice looking map.
dude, I actually started making this map at 10 after 6 today, my time, and the stream started at 7.
Yeah, so Timmons acquire a rickshaw or something and stash it in the alleyway and watch HG go staggering down there, and he kind of unsnaps his holster, gets his pistol kind of ready just in case, but he's leaning up against this rickshaw. He's got some some blankets and stuff in the rickshaw ready to go.
Okay.
So, and he's
Okay.
waiting. He's going to take off running down there as soon as HG comes up out of the ground with the body.
All right, HG, you are going to tunnel your way. We're going to leave this right here this week. This we're going to pick up next Thursday. You guys have a plan. You might want to write it down before you get off the table to remember what you're going to do. Or else just go back and watch the video from this.
We got it recorded right here.
We got it recorded here, right here. Thank you to Jingo and Steph for coming in with the raids tonight. And let's see who else. We got a new follow from Hey Payne. And don't forget, if this is your first time here, don't forget to hit that follow button. Would appreciate that very much. This is the Deadlands Thursday night group playing out in the Weird West, and these guys have finally done the magic things to get this rolling along. And we're going to have some fun next week. I was hoping to get to this earlier tonight, but I was having too much fun with the role play with Tam. That was fucking great, man. Fantastic. So we will be back tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern with Vino's stream, Curse of Strahd, right here on Marbanya on my channel. And so Vino, who is playing Jeb Hexman in this game, will be DMing tomorrow night's game. Drake's game will be, he's DMing on Saturday night, will be on Rob Tui's stream, which is twitch.tv/Rob Tui. And anyway, so you guys stay healthy, stay safe. Tell them bye, everybody. Thanks for coming by.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Let's raid Diablo Bob. Bye-bye,
Is
everyone.
Diablo Bob over here coding? We'll do
Yeah.
that.
Said he was going to.
Remember, 6 feet apart.
Yeah,
If they are within,
Unless
you're
they're
coding.
sneezing 29 feet, if you go... Oh!
they're close enough that you get an opportunity attack, they are too close.
I ordered some masks. They'll be here after the virus is dead.
So is his Twitch name Diablo Bob? Because I don't even have him on my list.
Yeah, Diablo Bob.
All right. Good. I'll be able to follow him as well. I don't think it's... No, I'm not.
Take a little blue and red token.
It says that you're raiding Diablo Bob.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it.
It's saying with 12 raiders.
Ready, raid?
Let me refresh.
Did you break it?
See. Yeah, I probably broke it. It's from when the network went down. I never refreshed my Twitch stream. There we go.
Whoop.
Hey! Okay, 12 viewers are ready to raid. I'm just waiting for the countdown. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow night here, 8 p.m. Eastern. If you get to come by, we would appreciate it for Curse of Strahd. So take care, everybody. Say hi to Diablo Bob. He's teaching us how to code. Bye, everybody.
Ah, Diablo
Stay
Bob.
safe, everyone.
Miguel thinks you might change your name, though.
Mm-hmm.
Miguel thinks